So let's go out to the herb garden here. It's a little overgrown because, well, the herbs just went crazy. You see this? The Thai basil has taken over in here. It really has. Because I'd pretty much harvested most of what I wanted for the year. There's still a few things in here. There is some, that's thyme. There's some sage over there. Over there is rosemary. And a bit of those yellow flowers. There's some dill. But it's gone very wild, and I need to get in here and clean it out before spring. But what I really wanted to show you was a wild plant. See these leaves here, these larger kind of wrinkled leaves? If you look down in there, you'll see a fruit. See it there? And if you look over here on the fence, you'll see more of the little yellow fruits. These are musk melon. These are a wild plant. I do gather them up. That's why I wanted to bring you out here and show you, because this is the first time I've really had the opportunity, or taken the opportunity, I should say, to show you this plant and to show you what I do with them. Because one of the things I like to do with them is make things. This particular melon is very closely related to, and it's okay to get these somewhat green because they will continue to ripen over the next few days. What I was going to tell you though, you've probably seen commercials for a product that is made by made for a very famous supermodel that claims that it helps you to stay younger, or your skin younger looking. Here's what the fruit looks like when it's before it's ripened. It looks like a watermelon, doesn't it? Kind of. But anyway, there is a very famous supermodel that has things made, has a company that makes an anti-aging type product for the skin. Some more green ones there. They really are prolific. I've picked, this is just today, I've picked a lot of pounds of this. But anyway, where I was going with this is it is used to create products that supposedly help make you look younger. I'm not going to say that that's not possible. I don't really know. I am not a scientist. I'm skeptical. Very skeptical. Hi, Rosie. However, if there is a chance that it actually works, why not stick it in some soap? Yes, soap is a rinse-off product. I realize that. But this particular melon has been used here in the South and across the southern USA in a very similar way that we use aloe vera. Both for burns, for skin irritations, externally and internally. It has been used for a few different gastrointestinal issues as well. So it's a pretty wonderful little fruit. All right, so we're back indoors now, and I wanted to talk to you a bit more about these. I get distracted when I'm out in the garden with the animals and things, so I may not do as good a job as describing things as my intention is. But this particular melon, as you can see, it is very similar to other types of melons and cucumbers because that's all the same family. These are actually in some areas called lemon cucumbers, which would be a misnomer, but it has a lot of different names. Lady melons, pocket melons, all sorts of names. The true botanical name of this one in particular, though, is a little more complicated, and I think that's how it gets a lot of its names. But it's basically a cucumis melon, and this variety is Texanus. That's the southern variety. This is naturalized here in the deep south and down into Mexico, and is related to the melons that grow down in Central America as well. It is a first cousin of the melons from France and several other places. They're all related. That's one of the wonderful things about the plant world. Well, and the people world too, right? So let me zoom on down here because we're going to cut a few of these, and I just want to show you. These are just the ones I brought in. I already have some that are prepared, but I wanted to just show you what they look like. So I'm going to cut them two different ways, just to show you. This one I'm going to cut lengthwise. They have a nice thin skin, not very difficult. You'll see the nice that they're juicy. But you're also going to find they're full of seeds. Do you see all of those wonderful seeds? Doesn't that remind you of a cucumber? And that's exactly what it smells like. It smells like fresh cucumber smell. And I've made cucumber fragrance soap before. I made one called Big Dill, which was a dill soap, or a sort of a take on the pickled in a soap. But anyway, so I cut that one that direction, and this one we're going to cut lengthwise, or midwise rather than lengthwise, just to show you a little different design on them. But again, you can see there, a lot of what's inside is seed. But additionally, what's inside is this wonderful, you know what, I've got a better way to do this. All right, I've got the juicer here, and I've got my little container here, and I just have it sitting on top of a jar here, just to get it up to height. I didn't need to use the big pitcher because we're not making very much here, just enough for this recipe. So I'm now going to turn this very noisy machine on, so you're just going to hear some music while I get these juiced. So here we go. And there we have it, our wonderful Texas wild melon juice. And this is going to be the basis of this soap. So come along with me and let's put this together. Hi everyone and welcome. It's really good having you here. It's raining here where I am. It has rained all day and I've been stuck inside the house. This has been my day off, and I had all these plans of things I wanted to go outside and do today, but it has rained and rained and rained. Can we use rain? Sure. It's fall time, and it's a good time for the plants to suck up that water so that they've got it all winter, but goodness gracious, it ruined my day off. So I decided to make a soap. It's very drying outside, the cold, it's windy, It is wet, and you would equate that to being moist. But when there's a lot of wind and it's cold, it's very drying. In addition, some of us are already, not me yet, are running our furnaces and drying our skin out. We are in this time of COVID where we're washing our hands all the time, hopefully. And so that's very drying, right? And we're trying to keep clean. We're trying to keep healthy. And it seemed like a good time to make my Mega Moisture soap. Lanolin. This is lanolin. Lanolin has been used for millennia for moisturizing purposes. Lanolin is used even for pregnant women or even new mothers. When they're nursing, it is placed on the breasts to help with tenderness. And that's because it is first of all, it's natural and the body accepts it immediately. Why is that? Where does lanolin come from, you may ask? If you've ever had sheep and sheared them, you'll know what lanolin is. It is secreted from the skin of sheep. It is what makes lamb wool so great to use in clothing, because it does repel water. It is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. It doesn't repel water, it helps to seal over. So how is this helpful in skincare? Well, whenever you wash, you're washing away hopefully dirt off of your skin, but you may also be washing away dead skin cells, and possibly, depending if you're doing a lot of scrubbing, even the natural oils and protective layer off your skin. So one of the things that we can do is when you bathe, if you leave something behind to seal the skin, it holds in the moisture rather than losing moisture. And even in a wash-off product like soap, Lanolin has been shown to do this. The soap also will have mango butter, cocoa butter, shea butter, and kokum butter, So there's a lot of great oils and butters that are going to be used here, along with the olive oil and castor oil that'll also be in this soap. And why, you may ask, why am I showing this to you like this? To give you just sort of a breakdown, because oftentimes in soaping videos, I and others just show you the melted oils and butters and say, here it is, right? But we oftentimes don't break down the individual things. Mango butter is another wonderful product that is easily accepted by human skin. I'm not saying that it's going to suck into your skin any more than any other oil or butter. But again, it is a non-stripping. Like coconut oil tends to strip away the natural oils from your skin. If you've ever washed with 100% coconut oil that has not been heavily superfatted, you'll find it's very drying. And superfatted just means adding more oil than can be saponified by the lye. Anyway, this is one of these great products, along with shea, some parts of shea, some parts of the kokum, that don't saponify and will stay behind after the fact to remain on your skin. And during this time of the year, that's very helpful. You won't be oily and greasy. That's not the way this works. But it does help to leave that very fine coating on your skin so you don't lose moisture. All right? So I'm just a real fan of natural butters and products, and wherever I find that they can be beneficial, I do my research, and if I find that they work well, and I've made this Mega Moisture soap for about 25 years, give or take a year or two, and it's always been a good seller in winter, so it seemed like a good time to start. It's not winter yet, obviously, but getting this made now, hopefully it'll be ready so that when that cold weather gets here, it'll be here if anybody needs it. So I'm going to get these melted. I've got the double boiler heating up now, and I'll get these melted down. We'll bring them together with our other oils and then start mixing them in with our other beneficial product, and that is the melon juice that you saw me make earlier, along with our goat milk. So bear with me while I get everything ready. So I'm starting out by getting my goat milk melted. And because you've seen me do this so many times, I'm going to go ahead and speed through this in just a moment, but I did want to let you know what I'm going to be fragrancing this with. I actually made notes on this. It's 41% geranium, smells lovely. 32% amorous, 21% Lanolin, and 6% vetiver. And this is a recipe I actually got off of EO calc that someone made, and they called it alluring. And I mixed some of it, a small amount of it up myself, kind of made a perfume just so I could see how it would smell in a soak. And it is a luxurious fragrance. Some floral, some kind of a woodsy, just a very, I think, a fragrance that would be liked by men and women alike. The vetiver gives it kind of that grounded smokiness, while the geranium gives that delicious floral. The amorous adds those gorgeous spicy middle notes. Just all of it together. The Lang Lang, of course, adds that floral spiciness, and oh, it is just so nice just having it sitting here. And I've mixed it in with my melon juice that you saw me juice earlier. So I've just got it all together there, because I'll add that in once I've got my goat milk mixed into our oils. Then I'll add in the essential oils and the melon. I didn't want to hit the melon with the lye straight like this. The goat milk is frozen, it can take it, and I was going to actually mix the melon with the goat milk and then freeze it. But because it is so watery, because it is juice right out of the melons actually, I was afraid that the goat milk mix might negatively affect the juice, some of the positive constituents of it, with the lye hitting it directly. So I wanted to get the lye cooled with my goat milk first. That may not make a lot of sense. I apologize. It's just the way, from what I've read up on some of the benefits of using the melon, I just don't want to, I don't know. I was trying to be as honest with you as I could. There are people who claim that this melon has all of these wonderful benefits, not this specific melon, but it is the first cousin of the same melon. And as even within us people, our first cousins have a lot of the same blood as we do, right? Although, depending on your family, you may not have a real close relationship with your first cousin. But in this case, I think because we're talking about a fruit on a vine, I think that we can safely say it's pretty closely related. So if there's any benefit at all in any melon, this type of the muskmelon variety, then I think that for sure this one has a chance too. So this is me blindly using a melon that I know is safe, by the way. Very safe for the skin. It's edible. It's something a lot of people do eat. They make jams out of it. There are all sorts of cordials made from these native melons. So you can certainly use it on the skin without any fear. Now, some things you can't. Now, for instance, the lanolin that you saw me mixing into the oils, or that I showed earlier. Lanolin, for some people that have allergies to animal products, could not use a soap with lanolin in it. Like if you had, there are certain conditions that you may have, that people have against using animal products. And there are people that just or have aversions to it because they're vegan or vegetarian, and they may not want to use animal kind of products in their soap. But this is one. Lanolin is a natural product from the sheep. It is not cruel. When you remove the hair from the wool from the sheep, and here in Texas it's absolutely necessary to remove it because they would overheat here. But when you remove that wool and clean it, the lanolin is a natural product from that wool. So it doesn't harm the animal in any way, no more than just shearing the wool off does. So like us going to the barber shop or to the beauty shop and getting our hair cut. Well, it's a little more than that, but. So our goat milk is now ready here. And I'm not coloring the soap, I'm leaving it. I think I kind of wanted it to be kind of a pink color, but I was afraid it might come out looking like sausage because I'm out of rose clay. I've ordered some rose clay, but I haven't got it in yet, and I'm out. I'm completely out. I have red clay, and I've tried to use just a little red clay sometimes in my soaps, but they come out looking like bologna. It's not that pretty soft pink that you get from the rose kaolin clay. All right, so our goat milk is now well melted. So in just a moment, we're going to get this blended in with our oils. All right, fantastic. So I have my oils and butters here. This is the lanolin, the kokum, the mango, the cocoa, the shea butter, the olive oil, and castor oil are all ready for us. So I'm going to get my big spatula here and go ahead and start mixing in our delicious goat milk. All right, good. Hit this with the stick blender here just a bit. Oh, this smells so good. Sorry, I'm trying to operate the camera and it wasn't cooperating with me there. All right, let's get this in the mold. This is a beautiful blend of essential oils. I'm so glad I found that recipe. Thank you to EO Calc for this lovely recipe. This is a delicious mix of essential oils. All right, so let's wait a few minutes. I may do a little bit with the top and then we'll get this cut. Right, so first step is, of course, to cut this into individual loaves here. There we go. I love this. Okay, we'll say it again. Then I will try not to say it again. I promise. I love these essential oils, this blend that I've never used before. Sometimes, just looking to see what other people have tried, and getting an idea of what others like is a good idea. Not to always be such an old fogey like myself and stick doing the same thing over and over again. I'm very pleased. I really am. I'm very, very pleased with how this blend turned out. I'm glad I experimented, and I will be doing more experimenting. Well, not experimenting. This was someone else's tried and true recipe of essential oils. So, because this was a mixture of some that I would have never considered myself. All right. One second here, I just want to clean out the track here on my bar cutter, because the last time I used it, it was a darker soap, and I don't want, oop, that's the wrong one, and I don't want that color getting on this, because this is this soap has no color, so, or has not been colored, I should say, or had any colors added to it. All right. Move these aside. There's nothing really to show, but it's all in the essential oils and in the ingredients. That does not mean you can't have both. That's just Patrick's way of being lazy and saying, oh, it doesn't need color. It has all this other wonderful stuff going on. But I will say that that's not me, actually, that saying that alone. I've had customers say that, or viewers say that. So I'll leave it to them. We should never compliment ourselves in that way exactly. All right. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun putting this together. And the melon, some of that is humor. I'm going to be honest with you. The first time I saw that commercial for that supermodel, who shall remain nameless, that she was working with some doctor, French I believe, and that they had discovered a melon that didn't wilt as fast or didn't rot as quickly as the other melons, and therefore it would do the same on human skin. I did laugh, and maybe that's true. I'm not going to suggest that it's not, but I would suggest that, as with all claims, that you take them with a grain of salt and do your own research. That's pretty much all I'll say about that, including my own. Oops, and I just screwed that one up in the cut a little bit. Oh well. That was an end piece. I personally am very critical. I should have done this first on that one. I'm very critical of claims, especially claims that seem kind of far out there. And you should do the same. I'm not saying you should be like me. I'm just saying do your research. I'm not making any claims about the melon in this, except that... Now, isn't that weird? You see I haven't changed the settings on this, right? Would you look at the thickness of this one and look at the thickness of that one and this one? Do you see that? I think my cutter is on crack. I don't know what is going on with it. I'm not changing anything. It's not like it's moving. I don't know why. See how much thicker that one is than that one. I do check the weight on these. Now these, of course, they will change before I actually ship them. But because in the cure process, some of the moisture disappears. But I want to show you. Just look at this. Okay, so this bar, 5.77. This one, 5.47, 5.93, 4.90. That was the skinny one that it cut on the end. So maybe I did do something screwy on that one. That'll be a keeper. If it's over 5 ounces, I'll include it. But that is annoying because I'm pushing it all the way to the end each time. When I cut it, I'm not doing anything any different. 5.67. So the next one should, now it's going to vary a little bit because of the top, right? If the top is a little higher on one than the other, is there a possibility they could vary? Of course there is, but it shouldn't be that much. 5.49. You see that's 0.2 of an ounce difference in this one. 6.7, 4.9. Why is that? Why is it cutting these differently? I'm not doing anything differently. I'm sliding along to the end. Oh, here, you can't see it right now. I just slide it through. This is tight as it can be. This is screwed down really super tight. It doesn't move any. It's the wire. Yeah, I've got the wire really tight, so it's not the wire. I'm just not sure. I am lost on this, why there is a variation. I consider myself a somewhat intelligent person. I should be able to figure this out. And I'm really thinking I need to get a new cutter for this very reason, because it bugs me. Most people don't buy multiples of one soap. A few people do. What am I saying? I just filled an order where someone did buy multiples of a soap. But they may find that one bar, if they were to weigh them, weighs slightly more. 5.52, 5.66. They're going to vary somewhat. That's why on the label, on some I will list a variance. You have to. I don't want to tell them, oh, that's never round up when you're selling something. Never, for instance, if it's 5.79, don't say it's 6 ounces. because they're going to get it and weigh it, and it's going to weigh 5 something. So say 5. It's better to give them more than what they paid for than less. But this is something that's starting to bother me. And I've noticed it a few times recently after I'd cut soap and I was packaging them. I could feel a difference in the weight. And you may say, well, how could you be that sensitive to feel the difference in half an ounce or a quarter of an ounce? I don't know. I can't tell you exactly. And it's not always. I can't tell you that you could hand me 2 different things and I could tell you necessarily, but it's just something I noticed, and so I started weighing them. This was just in the last loaf before this one. So I think now, especially now that this is on film, I need to get a new cutter. I don't know what this one's doing. I don't know why it's doing it, but something's wrong. So if you have an idea, I'm willing to listen. If you know something I don't know, I would love to hear what you think this might be. Why is it making this one 5.52 and this one 5.63? We're talking about, a 1/10 of an ounce, but you can see it really in the top. Look at this one. You see how it's wider at the bottom than at the top? So it's like the wire is going down and then going aside or something. I don't know. This has not happened until just recently that I've noticed it. And I don't think most people care when they get a bar soap. If it's quality bar soap, they don't really care. I mean, most of these look fine. You see the little wave there? That tells me, and this wire is as tight as I can get it without it breaking. So I don't think it's that. It's going down in the slot perfectly straight. I have cleaned out the slot. There's nothing in there that is changing the guide or the shape. So I don't know what it is. Thank you so much, everyone. I do appreciate you. I hope you all have a beautiful day. It's great soap. It's just your size might vary by a 1/10 of an ounce. These will be in the store in late November, just in time for winter, and that's when I think they're really going to be welcomed in the home. So have a great day, everyone. I'll see you back very soon. Goodbye.